Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, and we have a snowstorm approaching. Well, kind of, more for the interior. Let's take a look at the latest forecast. Before we start looking at the model guidance and observations, there's something we need to talk about, and that is the state of the North Atlantic Oscillation. Currently, this afternoon, the North Atlantic Oscillation is falling, but significantly positive. In fact, it's not really showing much in the way of a transition to a negative state this afternoon. Why is this important? Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast for this index. This is the 7-day forecast from the GFS Ensemble guidance for the North Atlantic Oscillation. And as you can see, it's just a bit off. The average forecast was for it to be neutral, falling to a negative state, and in fact we have a positive NAO pattern. The reason why this is important is because a negative NAO pattern supports a high pressure system basically locked in over the St. Lawrence River Valley, which keeps cold air at the coast and pretty much allows a snowstorm to do what it does, which is produce heavy snow along the coast. In this case, it's just not there. It's not present. No matter what the model guidance is trying to suggest, the North Atlantic is clearly not supportive of a type of pattern that locks a high pressure system over the St. Lawrence River Valley, which is very important for this upcoming forecast. So what is the upper level pattern like? Well, I have here the water vapor satellite picture as of about 2 p.m. And the yellow lines here is our subtropical jet stream, and the blue is our polar jet stream and our polar vortex all the way up in northern Quebec. Now this pattern is very important for a very significant reason. For one, there is no P&A ridge. We have a trough in the west with a strong disturbance that is expected to move due east towards the Ohio Valley tonight and then towards the Mid-Atlantic coast tomorrow. We have a deep trough over the Atlantic and a strong ridge over the eastern Atlantic, but that is not a negative NAO pattern. What we have here is basically the polar vortex dropping down into Quebec. So while it clearly is a cold pattern, don't get me wrong, it's going to get rather chilly throughout the northern Atlantic over the next several days. It is not a pattern that supports high pressure to the north of a storm track, nor does it support a snowstorm along the coast. What it does support is a disturbance that is moving into a confluent pattern, rapidly weakening at the upper levels and moving quickly through the Mid-Atlantic and into the Atlantic. So this pattern is clearly not one that supports a snowfall of a significant nature or even a moderate nature along the immediate coast. And here's our surface map also as of 2 p.m. and as you can see, high pressure is anchored over the Hudson Bay. Now this high pressure system is actually going to drift to the northwest and weaken its influence over the northern Mid-Atlantic. Meanwhile, our area low pressure that is developing over northern and central Nebraska will rapidly move towards the Ohio Valley this evening and then towards around Pittsburgh by tomorrow morning. Now, a low pressure system positioned in this area with a departing high pressure over into central Canada, no high pressure system to the north of this storm, at least over parts of New England or the St. Lawrence River Valley, will translate to an easterly wind. And that's very important because you could have 850 millibar temperatures around 0 degrees Celsius or even minus 2 degrees Celsius. But if you have an easterly wind, that means your boundary layer temperatures are warming up above freezing. And that also means that, considering we're dealing with a wet snow here, that accumulation is going to be rather difficult. So you might see snow in the air, but for many locations it probably won't stick all that much. So what we're going to have here is this low pressure system track towards the New Jersey coastal waters by Thursday morning and then exit out rather quickly because we are dealing with a relatively progressive pattern over the western Atlantic. So this low pressure system will be out of here by Thursday afternoon with clearing skies. So we're looking at a relatively fast moving storm, an east wind to warm the boundary layer up, especially along the coast, and also basically the mid-level dynamics with this storm suggest a very wet type of snowfall. So the snow ratio is going to be rather high as well. So here's what the snowfall forecast is for this storm. For parts of the Philadelphia metropolitan area, southeastern Pennsylvania, back through Lancaster, all of central and southern New Jersey, and also parts of the southern side of Long Island, I'm looking pretty much at a rain event here. You'll see some wet snow mixing in with the rain at times. You might even see a period on Thursday morning where it goes over to all snow. The only problem is that temperatures are going to be at the coldest, maybe around 34, 35 degrees over the northern portions of this no accumulation zone, and most locations actually going to be around 40 as you head towards Cape May, New Jersey. So I don't expect any accumulation whatsoever from this storm in these locations. So you move a little bit further north towards Reading, just north of Trenton, and the New York City metropolitan area, back through the coastal areas of Connecticut. Again, you'll see a mix of rain and snow. You're not going to have much in the way of accumulation. I'm looking for a trace to an inch of snow, mostly on the grassy surfaces and cold surfaces. Remember, you could see snow in the air, but again, because of the warm nature of the boundary layer with temperatures at the coldest in mid-30s, it's going to be rather difficult to stick on the ground and remain there. So again, I'm looking for about a trace to an inch of snow. And then as you move further northwest, we start moving into the jackpot areas. Now, I think like for northwestern New Jersey and northeastern Pennsylvania, this snowfall is going to be rather impressive. And remember, it's heavy and wet, so be careful shoveling it. I'm looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow around Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. Further, a little bit further to the south, around Bethlehem, anywhere around 3 to 6 inches. As you move into much of Sussex County, you're looking at around 3 to 6 inches as well. The amount of snow, the high-end totals of this snow will depend on where the mesoscale banding sets up with this storm as it's moving towards the New Jersey coast, especially with strong isotropic lifting. But I think for the most part, the steady, heavy snow, the accumulating snow is going to remain over the interior, and the coast is going to miss out on much of the snow, if not all of it. Oh, and by the way, for eastern Connecticut, while you remain all snow, as the low pressure system is departing to the south and the east, the majority of the precipitation shield is going to start to cut down from south to north, and you're going to miss out on the brunt of the heavy precipitation. But still looking for around 2 to 4 inches of snow in portions of northeastern Connecticut. So this storm looks like it's going to be a fast-moving storm, and then after this storm leaves, we still remain on the cool side. I think that most of the weekend's going to remain dry though, and then we're going to have to keep an eye on another storm later on for next week, which I think again is going to be a chance for some snow in the interior and rain along the coast. We'll keep an eye on it. I honestly think that most locations will just see rain out of this other storm as well. Thank you for watching NYNJPA Weather. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have a great day.